Futureproof is sponsored by Carrot Events, showcasing your company values with high impact bespoke events. Welcome to Futureproof. Thank you for joining me, Sarah Hopwood, as I continue these business television programs travelling around South America, through the Panama Canal and into the Caribbean. I'm on the ship called Balmoral and running choirs on here, but I do believe education is a very large part of future-proofing. We have seen fine examples of people in previous generations who have had a future-proofing way of thinking, and I hope that we can not just learn from them, but also maybe go on and be creative in our own thinking to make sure that we keep the trend going, that all of us are thinking to future-proof and protect future generations, future business, and just the human beings basically being human beings. Welcome to Futureproof as I film another program on my travels around. I've just come through the Panama Canal and we are about to go into Costa Rica. So it is very early in the morning. There are already walkers going around the deck getting their exercises, and this is just the mountain range that I'm going to pan round now, and this mountain range is leading us into Costa Rica. And as I turn, you'll see it's beautiful actually that the sun is actually shining on the port as we are approaching it. So it's a beautiful clear morning. It's a little bit breezy, but you can probably see from the sea there's really not much going on at all there, so absolutely fantastic. You might see the odd head going by, but that is just the walkers going around the deck. I'm as far forward as I can be, and I've just raised myself up slightly. You see there's a huge crane there, and we'll be going into the left, and I can see the buoys in the sea. Oh, and there we are, we're literally turning. That's a turn to the left to go in, which fantastic. So I'm going to keep panning round, because those of you familiar with Costa Rica will, I'm sure, recognise then this little bit of island which I'm passing on my right, and there's a rock. I love that rock actually, because it's even got little trees on it that is sitting out right next to it at the end here. Absolutely lovely to see. Clearly just looks totally uninhabitable. It obviously has some little beach. There's a little beach there, I think, but I imagine that people swim out or maybe have a little trip out. I've come in, please excuse my adjustments on the camera. I'm not as good as I should be. And then actually in the background there too, there's another little bit of rock too that's sticking out from the mainland there, which is just amazing. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And that's then the building, the first house. The other thing, I'm actually going to go back to the gap, because if you go right back to the gap, you can see right out to sea there is that is either a ferry or a cruise ship, I would suspect, I would imagine. But yes, I am talking about future-proofing. The Panama Canal was certainly about future-proofing, cutting down time enormously for trade to go through, and also of course provided many jobs once it was completed. We saw many workmen. I think we had 10 Panama staff join us on the ship to help us through, to help with the ropes, and obviously we had the tugs, and you know, it's a very expensive job, of course. And anyway, we have none of that here. We're going in under our own steam. There are some smaller boats in the water, possibly fishing, or I imagine fishing they'd be further out, or I think once I get closer I might even find that they're moored against their own buoys. It could well be the case. So never been here before. I'm heading up a tour. They call us escorts, so we are going to be going on I think a flatboat, and we'll be getting some tours, and obviously some tourist knowledge. Of course we'll have a guide, I'm sure. You can hear stuff is happening. Every time I hear these noises I think they're putting their anchor down, but they're not. And you can now see also the haze of the sun on this amazing headland, and there's just layers of low-lying mountains. Beautiful, beautiful sea, as I say, and you can just see the walkers going by getting their morning exercise. There is a gym here. It's quite a good gym. It's something I tend not to do. I tend to prefer the walking. For those of you who know that I broke my foot on the last cruise, that is now mending. So I've been walking without a boot for quite a while. I did re-break it, which was unfortunate. I had a month of healing and then I re-broke it, which meant that the long flight out here was challenging. Anyway, here we are going into Costa Rica, and I'll be filming some more a bit later. And here we are passing a house right by the riverside. And apparently they come down to the water's edge and they do their washing. Bless their hearts. That almost looks as if it's empty and deserted, which of course we all know that that's not the case at all. This certainly looks empty, and I'm pretty sure it is. There's no door or windows in here at all. But there's a lot of wiring or something behind. I can see telegraph poles. Travelling round, the guide was saying that 98% of the population here are literate, so they can all read to a level, which is fantastic. And also many years ago they abolished the army, so they don't have an army still to this day. We can hear some music. Always music to my ears. So I was just studying the camera. Don't know whether you can hear the familiar tune that most of us will know. I'll be quiet so it comes into hearing. There's actually somebody lying on a bed there asleep. And I'm going to pick this up. Look at the washing that is drying here. And then you've got this huge bridge right in front of us, obviously going over the river, and looking very modern indeed. Very modern. But you can hear from the noise of the traffic going over when something does go over that the vehicles. There we are. Look, you can see them, but they are quite old.
You saw it? You saw it?
Yeah.
Very fast, right?
They're showing them something else now. There's obviously an animal somewhere.
That little black bird right there.
A black bird.
What's successful?
They were saying the female birds are brown.
That's another one, 3 finger or 3 toe. That's another species, right? It's moving right
So
now.
they have now seen another sloth,
That's another one.
but I'm going to just concentrate on some of this scenery here. Hang on, Paul's calling me.
EQ, emotional quotient, is better known as emotional intelligence. It is a tangible tool that can sit alongside your services or your product, and it can be taught. Leaders with high EQ have less stress, they're more effective, and they earn more money. There's a great saying, just because we have pains, it does not give us permission to be a pain. I believe that teaching emotional intelligence has a direct impact on your sense of success and your net profits. EQ will empower you and your workforce to drive the change that you want. Change brings transition. EQ can help unpack what's holding you back and speed up that period of transition.